So, thanks Han and Pankaj to have me here. It's a great pleasure to present at this conference. I did present last year, so I'm very happy to give everyone an update. We certainly made a lot of progress in the last year or so. So for those of you who are not familiar with Weee, we're a vertically integrated online grocery player specialized in Asian grocery delivery. So Q2, our run rate revenue has surpassed the low $100 million range, and we achieved 6.5x year-over-year growth, and we became profitable, and we generated over $10 million of cash since January. And our goal is to expand from our current footprint of 3 metro areas to 20 metro across North America by 2025, and we want to achieve $5.5 billion annual revenue at that time. So it's a huge market that is underserved. Like Han said, you know, iFly had this thesis of focusing on underserved. The Asian American market is certainly underserved, but one thing people probably don't know is how big the market is. It's $1 trillion in spending power, estimated by Nielsen, and it's growing very rapidly. By 2023, it's going to be at $1.3 trillion. That's just the spending power of Asian Americans. So if we zoom in to the grocery space, so grocery spending is a $60 billion industry for the Asian Americans, and it's driven largely by the fast growth of the Asian population in the US and also in Canada. So this is Wee's mission for the next 5 years. Wee strives to be the primary source of groceries for Asians in North America. We're extremely focused because this is the group that is not served well by the incumbent. So we want to offer them the best products, the best price, and the most possible convenience, easy access to those great food that they crave for. It took us a journey to get here. Like Han said, you know, we met in 2016. At that time, Wee was very different from what we are now. So at the time, we were exploring our model. We started as a social e-commerce platform. It turned out that that model was flawed. So we had this pivot in July of 2017. And also at that time, we established our positioning as the primary source of groceries for Asians in North America. So it was a difficult few quarters for us to achieve the product market fit. And right by the end of that period, we met Han, and he instantly saw the potential of the business, and he invested in Wee in December of 2018. And actually, iFly's investment is the milestone for us to enter into the third phase, which is the scaling phase. So we established the growth playbook. You know, we expanded geographically. We launched Seattle in January of 2019. We launched LA in December of 2019. We launched New York, New Jersey last month. So we also built a team, and you know, the COVID-19 also became an accelerator for us. So we achieved not only just positive cash flow, but also profitability. So our customers really love us. These are a few metrics to show that we are very different from almost all other grocery delivery players. So more than 90% of our customers are acquired through word of mouth. Also, we have the best-in-class retention. You can see it shows nicely the smile curve. And our customers, the longer they stay with Wee, the more money they spend. And also each new market, because we now know the business better, we have a better team, we have a better playbook. So each new market we ramped grew faster than the previous one. So LA, for example, which was launched in December 2019, grew 5 times faster than Seattle for the first 2 quarters. And you can see Seattle grew a lot faster than the Bay Area. So very briefly, the team, right? So I'm the CEO, and Julie is our VP operations, who had a lot of experience in the food industry and also managed large team before. And also our engineering VP is a really strong technical technical expert. So the 3 of us built the company ground up, and we have a very strong culture to work hard and work smart. And we have this, we see ourselves as a retailer rather than a tech startup. So that's another differentiator. So all the management teams in this company, we all believe in that culture, believe in that vision. So that's how we can build a culture that enable us to be the next best retailer in the world. So most recently, we also acquired other talents to join us. Our VP Product and Growth, HR VP, and Finance VP are all industry veterans with a lot of experience. We also had Tom Dillon to join us as our board member. Tom was the former COO of Netflix and has really deep domain knowledge of operations and logistics. So he, since he joined, he has already added a lot of value helping us building our next generation logistics network. So some recent development on Weee. So last month we announced that we raised Series C from DST Global, $35 million, so which brought our total money raised to over $100 million. So we raised the money from DST because we saw the specialties, the quality of that investment. So and this will really put Weee among all the DST portfolio companies. Give you some example like Facebook, Twitter, Airbnb, Spotify. So it's a significant milestone that Weee now is among the greatest companies in the world. Also, we launched 3 cities in July alone. So we launched Portland, San Diego, and New York. So Joe and Han were talking about Texas. I'm actually flying to Houston tomorrow. So we're going to start our Texas expansion pretty quickly. So 5 years, we really want to build the company to be a $5 billion company. Our growth strategy is very simple, accelerate across 3 dimensions. Number 1 is geographic expansion. Like I said, going to 20 plus metros in USA and Canada. The second dimension is ethnic group expansion. So today we have already acquired a lot of customers who are not Chinese speaking customers. Historically, most of our customers are Chinese speaking, but now we diversified and we offer very strong value for non-Chinese Asian Americans already, and we will continue to accelerate on that dimension. The third is merchandising. Merchandising, we want to expand our product category. Today, Weee is very strong in fresh products, produce, meat, seafood, but we are doubling down on other categories right now. For example, packaged food, potentially alcohol, personal care items, health and beauty, and household items. So this will greatly increase our wallet share among our very loyal customers. We also, like I said, we raised the money to build our engineering capability. So we have really in-depth understanding of our customers. We have a lot of data about our customers, so which can help us to create the best product recommendation in the world. We also will invest heavily in our automation, in our warehouse operations and logistics operations. And we are building the team that's scalable and can help us become the next big players in the online grocery world. So last I'd like to talk a little bit about how the partnership between we and iFly. I think we, as I showed you guys earlier, we were struggling for a period of time, and iFly was the first one to identify our potential and invest heavily into we. I think the iFly's investment into we accounts for a big portion of Han's dry powder at that time. So that's how much conviction he had in us, and it turned out to be a great investment. Also, after the investment, I think iFly added a lot of value. For example, in terms of fundraise planning, Han did a lot to plan the pace of the fundraise. So every subsequent raise after the iFly round became really easy and successful. And I met with Han constantly to talk about business strategy. Han also helped me with recruiting, interview candidates, sourcing candidates. So I would say it's a great partnership, and I feel lucky and fortunate to have the opportunity to work with iFly. That's all.
Great, thanks, Larry. Couple of things. One is you talked about going to Houston. You've been in the Bay Area exclusively since the beginning. I guess it's a two-part question. One is like, why did you stay just in the Bay Area for so long? Secondly, like, what were the triggers in your mind aside from just having more capital before you felt comfortable going to other geographies?
I think I don't grow a business just because I can inflate the revenue and sell the company. From day one I want to build a solid business. So before we have the playbook right, before we figure out the model, I don't think it's a good idea to expand. That's why we didn't expand until we complete the pivot and we figure out really what's the product market fit, how to provide the critical value to our customers. That's the primary reason.
Okay, and can you talk about maybe a couple of those metrics that were most important?
Yeah, for example, what's the retention, the cohort retention, what we call, right? So people who join in a certain period, how many of them keep coming back, right? That's a very important metric. So you see a lot of company that they have the cohort retention curve that slowly bleed to zero, which means they don't create enough value to retain a portion of the customers. So we monitor that very closely. So when we see that our cohort retention is flat or even showing the smile curve, we know we're getting better in terms of creating customer value. Another thing is the wallet share. We want to be the primary source of groceries. We don't want customers to come and just buy from we once a month or once a quarter, right? We want people to come to we and buy twice a week. So the spend percentage per customer is important to us. Initially, we only account for about 10% of our customers' wallet share, but now we account for over 40% of our customers' grocery wallet share. So that's another very, very important indicator for us to know that we actually succeeded.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. By the way, you've succeeded in my neighborhood because literally there's one of your delivery people on my street every single day.
Thank you. I still haven't converted you. I need to convert.
You'll get me. Can you talk a little bit about e-commerce? So right now it's like rising tide, lift all boats. Everybody's hot on e-commerce. What do you think has made we even more successful when most businesses are converting to this model?
I think when it comes to e-commerce, I probably comment on e-grocery specifically. I think when it comes to e-grocery, most companies focus on one word: convenience. So they believe that they offer the same products as brick and mortar stores to their consumers, and they charge the customers more, but they deliver the product to your home. They believe that's the right model. We fundamentally think differently because first of all, we don't believe offering the exact same products as brick and mortar store is the right strategy. We believe online, this channel actually gives companies tremendous opportunity to offer better products than what the brick and mortar stores can offer. So that's number one. Number two is we don't believe in charging customers more just because you deliver to their home. We believe that we should charge customers less and deliver the products to customers' home. And obviously, we also want the convenience. So that's the biggest difference, I think, between we and other online grocery players.
Okay, great, thank you. Can you talk a little bit about hiring? So you've been at the company obviously for a long time, and you've started to bring on some really amazing people. As the company's grown, like, have you changed like the characteristics that you're looking for in candidates, or has it kind of stayed the same?
I think certain things will evolve and has evolved, and certain things will never change. The things that shouldn't change is the culture of the company. So our culture is very different from other technology companies in the Bay Area. We actually go out there and tell people we're not a technology company. Although I think we're pretty good at using technology, but we are a retailer. So to be a retailer, we need to have a culture that match the fact that we are a retailer. So we are customer centric, we're frugal, we're humble, we are result driven, we're data driven, we are reliable, we are growth minded. So those are the things that we would never compromise. We wouldn't hire someone who is not customer centric. We wouldn't hire someone who is not humble. No matter how fast we grow, no matter how badly we're looking for candidates to join. That's our philosophy. But what has been evolving is the skill sets, right? So when you are smaller, you probably want more generalists, and when you're bigger, now we're bigger, we want to hire more specialists, so we don't have to relearn the skills that people out there already have. So that would help us to scale.
Okay, and what about you personally? So like, you know, you're not a scrappy little startup anymore. You've grown the company so well. Like, how have you evolved as a leader? And are there things in your leadership style or management style that have changed or evolved that you can talk about?
Yeah, I think one big area is before it was more, my leadership style is more one-to-one. So I talk to folks individually because, you know, 2 years ago, we only had like 40, 50 employees, right? So I know everyone, but now it needs to be evolved to more broadcast style. So I need to be able to articulate the vision more because I don't have time to sit together with every single employee to explain to them what the company is up to. So I have to articulate the vision very, very clearly and communicate the vision via mass channel so people can know what the company strategy is. And also I need to pay attention to small things I do. The larger the company, you know, as a CEO, you're under microscope, right? Everyone look at you, and everything you do means something to your employees. So I think as leaders, we need to be very disciplined, and we need to always convey the right message to unite the team and to motivate the team. I think that's one area that I have to evolve. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have some audience questions. The first is, I think, really about scalability across verticals. So like, how much of what you've built so far translates to the South Asian grocery market?
I think it's highly transferable, our playbook. So it doesn't matter which market, we need to find the right products. right? I'm a big fan of Sam Walton. And what Sam Walton said is, retailer is very simple. You just give your customers what they want. So, so the question is, okay, what are the South Asian customers want, right? So the number one thing is to find the products that they wanted and make them excited about the products that they can shop on Weee. On top of that, we can make the price cheaper than wherever they're buying those products, and we deliver for free. I think this playbook is universal. It doesn't matter if it's Chinese Americans or Asian Americans or South Asian Americans.
Okay. And then can you talk a little bit about the top categories of goods that you have now? Like what is it that most people are buying?
So we're really strong on produce, right? So produce is our number one category. It's also extremely difficult to operate because the spoilage or the shrinkage. The reason why produce is so strong for us is because our produce is fresher than pretty much anywhere you can find them. We don't have like shelves, like physical stores. So imagine you walk into a physical store, the products that you see on the shelves, between the time they were farmed to the time you see them on the shelves, it's been days, right? A lot of the vegetables have to go through distribution centers and then to the shelf, and they sit on the shelf for a few days. But for us, our model is customer can choose a future date when they place order on Weee. By the way, we don't do same day delivery, right? So customer go to our website or app, they can choose any of the next 14 days to place their order. Mm-hmm. So if they place the order, we already know the demand, so we can order in advance from our suppliers. So when you receive the products, it's the time between the products was harvested and on your plate. If you buy from Weee, that time is a lot shorter than traditional supply chain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're produce is the most popular category on Weee.
Thank you. So this next question, ever since COVID started, there are a lot of WeChat groups selling the products from your vendors with a cheaper price. What do you think about this?
I think they're always, if you think about retailer, there's no retailer that captures the whole market, right? You think about Walmart, you think Walmart is very dominating, but I bet most people on today's call don't shop on Walmart on a regular basis, although Walmart is the largest retailer in the world. So I think there are always going to be like really tiny niche players that can solve some of the problems. We were serving the group buying group leaders before, right? So we knew people who wanted to shop that way, the quantity was very small. Most people, they want the good price, they want the convenience, they also want the right assortment, they want the one-stop shopping experience. So it's up to the service provider or the retailer to figure out what's the best mix. You cannot have everything, but what's the good mix of quality, of number of SKUs, of the pricing point, of the delivery, the ways of delivery, and the combination of that will cater to the majority of the people that you're targeting, then you're successful.
Okay. We have another one about companies' long-term plan and supply chain logistics. For example, any plan on owning the products on the marketplace, the facilities, transportation, any of that stuff.
Yeah, so we're actively thinking about our supply chain. I think it's something that's evolving at this point. We don't think about marketplace model, although I can't say we will never have a marketplace model, but right now what we're seeing is the vertically integrated model can guarantee the customer satisfaction can guarantee the quality of the products, and also can guarantee the efficiency of the supply chain. So that's why we're investing heavily in that to have our own supply chain from end to end.
Okay, thank you. And then what about, I'd say it's slightly less relevant right now in the middle of this pandemic, but there was a question around wholesaling to restaurants. So when you think about your companies, it's like B2C right now, like are you thinking through like other ways to approach the market?
So a lot of people ask me this question. I think from people outside of the industry, they always think B2B and B2C, they're not that different, but actually they're very different. If I want to sell to the restaurants, even the quality of the products should different. If you sell to consumer, you want to have higher quality products. If you sell to restaurant, because the food, it will be eventually cooked and presented to customers after it's cooked. So restaurants usually don't have that high of requirements in terms of quality. They care more about price, right? So just this one simple example, if you want to serve both, you can't carry the same products. You have to carry very different products. Although it's the same radish, you say, hey, it's radish. No, it's not. If you want to sell to B and to C, they might be different. So we are super focused on the 2C space, and yeah, we won't venture out of that.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. It's every year just astounding like how much progress you make. It's just wonderful to be able to be on the sidelines and watch it. It's great. Han, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. So I'll take over the screen, and thank you, Larry, and thank you, Pankaj. Or David is still on. You can turn off the screen share.
Yeah, let me turn it off.
Okay.